It is week 21 of the Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge. And I just was thinking back when I first started this video vlog, I was wearing tank top, shorts. Now we have hit those cold days here in New York City. So I am in my turtle, what do they call this thing? The turtle fur. I always forget what it's called. I got my hat, I got my Lululemon ear warmer on, my vest, all my good stuff. So it is week 21. I just finished the 45-minute maintenance run, and there is more running to do this week, but because this is more of a pullback week, I figured what I would do is we would have a little segment about what podcasts I listen to on those extremely long runs. And we have about 2 more of those very 20 plus mile runs ahead of us. So for this week, week 21, it is going to be about having that pullback week and all my favorite podcasts. Hey you guys, let's talk podcasts. Okay, so here's the thing. I know that some runners kind of enjoy not listening to anything on their runs, whether it's just they kind of take in their surroundings, they don't like their earbuds in their ear, and that is totally awesome. And in fact, I kind of envy runners that can just kind of zone out and be with themselves and just run and let that be their kind of meditative state. I occasionally will do that, but for the most part, I either listen to music or to podcasts. So in our training plan, this being week 21, so I find myself in these longer runs, especially because I have to run them by myself. I'm running in Central Park, which is lovely and nice, but I run in that park every single day almost. So the scenery, I'm getting very used to the scenery. So I started listening to my podcasts, and the Disney Kitty, who I just love and adore, definitely you must, if you haven't already, subscribe to her YouTube channel, find her on Instagram at the Disney Kitty. She is just the loveliest human. And she had reached out and asked if I would do a little segment on the podcast that I listen to, because I listen to a lot. I started kind of formulating these podcasts together when I knew I was going to be on that 17-mile run weeks back, and then the 20-mile run, and now we're looking at 23, another 23, I have to double check, but definitely a 26 is on the map, and we'll talk about that later. Podcast, what do I listen to? I listen to a myriad of podcasts. I kind of like every genre. So what I thought I would do is I can break it down into the fitness oriented podcasts that I like to listen to, the more social, cultural podcasts that I love to listen to, and then the miscellaneous podcasts over here, because I have those. Let's start with the fitness. Of course, there are tons of running podcasts out there, but I want to give you my top 4 running podcasts that I love to listen to, and I think you should definitely check them out. Number 1 is Team Shenanigans podcast. This is the running team that I happen to be a part of. They're amazing, crazy, fun, just I couldn't have asked for a better running team to join. They are so supportive and so amazing, and they really do stand by their motto of putting the fun in all runs. But Team Shenanigans, that's my number 1. Joyful Miles, those who follow me probably heard about me through Heather Jurgensen or Gerald Resnick over at Res Runs, and Heather being over at Running with Grace. I love them both. And of course, from them, there's Laura from Joyful Miles. And Joyful Miles has a podcast, not just a YouTube channel. So if you're watching the YouTube channel, but you haven't subscribed to their podcast, definitely get on that. They are just, they're so amazing and fun, and they really focus a lot on the Disney races, which is great because I keep giving my money to Run Disney every year, and I just need to be in the know all the time. And they're constantly running those races and giving great feedback and just overall feedback on being a runner and running tips and all that good stuff. So Joyful Miles, check them out. My third favorite running podcast is Another Mother Runner. Now, I know, I am not a mother yet, but I love these women so much. They are smart women and they know what they're talking about, and they're runners and nutritionists they have on, and dietitians and mothers who have run through pregnancy and work on your pelvic floor and what it's like to run and also have a crazy busy life. And even though I'm not in that place in my life yet with children and all that, I just love that podcast, Another Mother Runner, because they just are real, and I know what it's like to have a crazy busy life. So to hear their tips and tricks on balancing it all is just so helpful. And the fourth is the Let's Run Disney podcast. I literally just tried to say it like they do on the intro to the Let's Run Disney podcast. Let's Run Disney podcast. No, that was horrible, but it's something like that. And this podcast is amazing because one of the two hosts is a woman named Megan, who many Walt Disney runners out there or Run Disney folk will know her by her book, The Runner's Guide to Walt Disney World. So the Let's Run Disney podcast is so amazing, and they have so many fun tips and tricks, and it's a monthly podcast. They kind of do a monthly roundup, so it'll be like, for the month of October, here's our monthly podcast of what happened to us in October and then November. And they are also running the challenges down at Disney, so we're getting into the months when they're going to start talking about that and getting me all excited, as will Joyful Miles and as will Team Shenanigans as we all draw closer. We're all going to be down there together. So exciting. All right, let's move over to the social, cultural part of my podcast listening. Now, I'm not going to get down the political route of all the political podcasts that I listen to, but there is one podcast that I do think is so amazing and everyone should be listening to it. He has not done season 2 yet, but it's called Revisionist History, and it's by Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote the book The Tipping Point. He also wrote Plan B. He has a lot of great books out there, but his podcast is called Revisionist History. The other one in the cultural genre that I love to listen to is a podcast, obviously a lot of you out there will know it, called This American Life. It has really great long segments, so definitely check out Revisionist History and This American Life. In kind of that sub-genre from these two, because a lot of the other podcasts I listen to are also produced by the This American Life folks over there at NPR. Definitely Cereal is on that. So if you haven't listened to Cereal, I kind of like season 1 better than I like season 2, but season 1, holy moly, you could literally run a marathon listening to all of season 1 of Cereal, and it might be the greatest thing you've ever done. Now, number 2 in that sub-genre of the NPR world, definitely give S-Town a listen. If you love Cereal, you will love S-Town. So good. And the third in that kind of American crime genre that S-Town and Cereal kind of take place in as well is Dirty John. This is one that I recently listened to. It's a very short series of a podcast, so you'll get it done really quickly, but oh my goodness. Okay, now let's get into the miscellaneous category. So, okay, this is my favorite podcast, and it probably is the one I listen to the most on my runs. And it is called Lore. It takes place around the history of folklore. And each week it's like a different folklore, takes a folklore from history, and he completely gives you that background of it, how we still might be living in that folklore even in modern times, how it translates to modern times. It's a very kind of spooky and podcast. I started listening to it in October because I thought it was a great way to bring in the Halloween spirit, and I can't stop listening to it. It's Lore, L-O-R-E. It's now been made into a television show on Amazon, so if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can watch the show Lore. He also turned it into a book, so well done for him, because he just started off doing what he loved, talking about folklore and history all over the world, and now he is really kind of building up this business behind it, so well done. These kind of podcasts will really keep you entertained and engaged, and they usually run about upwards of an hour long, maybe a little bit more in some cases. There's probably like a million more that I am forgetting, but those are the ones that I truly love and kind of can't wait to hear each week. So I hope this list gave you some new ideas to throw into your mix. And like I said, because of course I will mess up everybody's names and all of that good stuff, I'm gonna link all of the information down below. I hope that you guys are feeling confident in your training and where you're at. I want to just take a moment to tell you how thankful I am, this being a Thanksgiving week, for all of you guys that have started to subscribe to my channel. I mean, honestly, it blows my mind. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I just know that I'm here and I'm cheering for you, even though I'm in New York City and I may not know you personally. I am cheering for you 100% because I know there is support coming to me as well. So I'm throwing that support back out to you because you're amazing. And if you like this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and keep following me in this crazy journey. Happy running, happy miles, happy Thanksgiving, and keep kicking butt, unicorns. I'll see you next week after the Turkey Day. Peace.